Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Cheers. There's a couple different reasons. One, when Kirstie Alley came in, like, it was no longer my bar. What? We're not just going to start into it?
We just did.
Okay. When Cheers is no longer my bar at that point, right? Like, it's not that same hometown.
She kind of messed it.
But the other thing is what Fraser has. What Fraser has that Cheers never had was David Hyde Pierce, and you have to understand when Kelsey Grammer was on Cheers, he didn't have a brother. And his dad was dead. Yeah. So Kelsey Grammer, when they started Frasier, Niles actually came in to interview for a different part, like Glenn Chesterton, like the not gay food critic that's always pretty gay. And they were like, oh my gosh, he needs to be Frasier's brother. So they created a brother that never existed, and they brought Marty Crane back as alive, as his father that had already died in Cheers. So that is my thing. That is why I think Frasier is superior to Cheers, is because of David Hyde Pierce.
So everybody, welcome to the show. That little intro was from our good buddy Chris Menker.
You hear it first.
He's one of our reps from. One of our wine and beer reps.
Back by popular demand.
So while we're all opening up our palate cleansers, Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell us
So I've got New Anthem Brewing's Killed by the State. It's their Italian Pilsner. This is just absolutely delicious. There's very little of this left in the shop, which is why I had to snag one tonight for myself.
It's true. It's been going.
What you got over there?
I'm sipping on a Maine beer company. This stuff's really cool. It's called Lunch, which I thought it was called Lunch because...
Jesus.
What did I do?
I don't know.
You didn't hit the mute button when you belched.
Oh, we don't do that here, Chris.
Our viewers like that.
I just had
Look, these mics have been set up just to capture belches.
It was a beautifully seamless burp. It's like, this beer is called Lunch. It's glorious.
Timing on it.
Lunch is named after a whale that hasn't been spotted off the Maine coast since 1982. This is what you learn by reading the paper. My palate cleanser for tonight is also a New Anthem. It's the Little Star. It's a rice lager brewed with some Centennial hops. So
I thought you were going Ron Burgundy on us about, like, no, San Diego is a German name.
Yeah, it turns out it is named after a whale. So, anyways, Josh, what do you got?
All right, so tonight I am sipping on the lemon meringue pie.
Oh, that guy's tart.
From Westbrook Brewing Company,
Quite
which
the
may
palate
not be
cleanser.
the best choice for a palate cleanser, but I'm super excited to be having it. Also,
Well, what is it cleansing? The charcuterie board?
Let's give a little shout out to one of our viewers.
Jessica Wallbrown.
Thank you for the
You
charcuterie
are
board.
amazing. She
Otherwise known as Hot Shots Part 2.
She heard our cries at the end of the episode last week and decided to donate some food to us. She is the first one, and we love you for it.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. She stopped in.
Oh, Retro Meadery is logging in. He's got a lemon meringue pie too.
Oh, cool.
Nice. It's pretty good.
We're excited. It's always good when the meaderies, the breweries, the wineries are logging in during the show. That's always
Sherry, hey to you back. And Lisa and Denise, thanks for joining us. I'm
liking our demographic tonight.
You're going to like, I think, tonight because we are doing 3 meads. But before we get to that, for me, I'm the only one that's not doing one of Chris's beers. He notified me that like 10 seconds before we started.
Rob, you're throwing the party. You don't have to suck up to the
But
guest.
I'm drinking Come On, I Wanna Lay Ya from our friends down the street.
Easy for you to say.
Honestly, great name. Honestly,
Mackay
great
Brewing.
name.
So, yeah, I just thought I'd give a shout out to Mackay out there.
Is that a dip or a NEPA?
It's a NEPA.
Okay.
Yep.
It could be a dip in Nipo.
It could be a dip and NEPA, but it's not a dip and NEPA.
That's a double dipper.
I'm getting one of these pickled okra.
Not to be confused with the Daniper.
So yeah, she brought pickled okra. She brought crackers, prosciutto, salami.
It's been a while since
Brie. Oh
If you're
yeah.
having trouble, there's a fork.
These things are salami.
And not to be confused with the Benefer, because, you know, they're back together. Looks like Boston won, didn't they, Rodriguez? Anyway.
So sorry, Miami.
Oh
Man,
man.
it's got a little crunch to it. That's nice.
Yeah.
And,
Oh dude. Yeah, this charcuterie board is amazing. We got us, and then a nice little chunk of brie on
boy,
it.
for its size, that's a tender okra.
So why don't we get into some mead? I'm really.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the whole
happy
reason
for
we
her.
brought Menker here was to show off these 3 meads from his place. Well, I say his place. It's not really his company.
Soon enough,
He
Rob.
just
One day.
One day.
Of course, he might be walking into a pink slip tomorrow. You know, who knows?
Yeah, who knows, you know. So we're, spending time with Kent Waldeck today. So this is Crafted Brewery out of Mogadore, Ohio.
So it's Crafted Brewery or
I'm sorry,
Crafted Mead?
Crafted Meadery.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, Crafted Meadery out of Mogadore, Ohio. And so what's really kind of cool is when Kent lived in North Carolina, he did a bunch of home brewing, as you do when you live in North Carolina. Apparently, that is our only pastime. And
Wait a minute. So the mead maker lived in North Carolina, or
he's
is from North Carolina?
He's originally from Ohio.
Okay.
Was in North Carolina working a job. Had lived in North Carolina for a while with his wife, and was homebrewing. And you get those little homebrew manuals, and there's all those different little recipes. But near the back, near the appendix, there's always like a cider recipe and like a mead recipe. And he realized after multiple times of brewing beer that was not his forte. So he found a little side stand on the road and near Blowing Rock and ended up picking up some honey. And that was what started him doing home meading and metering. I don't know. I don't know what the verbiage is for
Retro.
that.
What's the verbiage on that?
Home meading?
What is? How do you?
Home metering?
Meterating?
Home mead production.
Is it
And
meteorite?
And so in 2008, his wife got a job back in his hometown. He took a job back in his hometown and kept producing mead in his garage. And now he is the ultimate work from home. His entire meadery process is attached to his house just outside Mogadore.
So here's the funny thing about that story is in the 3rd grade, when I was in the 3rd grade, we moved down here from Ohio. And it was Mogadore, Ohio.
Right.
And I grew up in Mogadore,
Yeah,
Ohio.
I was gonna say this sounds. One of my good friends was from there.
I grew up until 3rd grade anyway. But from
These are troublesome.
Well, and the funny thing is that it actually ties closer to that because probably, and I'm making some assumptions on where he sources his honey from, but if you know anything about northeastern Ohio, Medina, Ohio, down the street, is the largest producer of honey in the world. It's the home of AI Root Candle Company, which is one of the last, or rather the largest
Beeswax
candle maker of beeswax. Not paraffin or anything else. They only make beeswax candles. So, I mean, we're talking
there's
thousands, hundreds of thousands of hives in and
There's an
around
existing
Ohio.
apiary industry.
Oh, right. There's
it
a
doesn't
huge
hurt
apiary
that it's
industry.
all farmland around there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So to me, that's really cool when I figured out that he was from Mogadore and we were having the conversation because having been from Medina myself, I moved away from Medina when I was 12 years old, so 6th, 7th grade. So this is kind of ties together. You being from Mogadore, me having grown up some in Medina, this is really kind of oh, cool. So this is more local to me than I realized.
Yeah, definitely. We've already tasted all these in the.
If this guy is not a
pre-tasting,
Browns
but-
fan, I don't know what we're gonna do with him, but so 2009, 2012.
Turns out he likes the Steelers.
Kent was.
I was a Steelers fan.
Still kind of doing it at home. Still kind of growing his business. And then 2012, 2015, he ended up getting laid off, and he was like, "All right, time to do this 100%." And has been very successful at it. So what we're having tonight is, sometimes you'll see. So there's a big variation in meads. You'll get meads that are 16, 17% that are cork capped you'll get stuff that's like 7%, and there's a couple different terminology. There's one really technical term. We stay away from that. But you'll see in the market, you'll see like draft mead. But he doesn't like the term draft mead because that indicates that it's like on draft somewhere. So he uses the term session mead. So they're carbonated. They're under 7%. And so that's how you can tell the difference. They're not corked. They don't have corks in them. They've got crown caps on them. So it's carbonated mead. And
I can appreciate that.
Mead is just, mead in its basic definition is just fermented honey. It is oldest fermented beverage on record in the history of the world.
It's kind of how malted gets its name.
Right. So it's really just kind of cool. So what he does is, he does the whole variation. He's got the 16%. He's even got some like dessert meads that are like 19 and 20. But like this is like what he really goes to market. What he's in 38 states with is this stuff and this session mead. So which one
do you think we should start with, Chris?
And then we got this one here.
You know what? I think we should start with the pollination because I think it's the driest.
Here, I'll cop the top on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I happen to like the choice on that to lead off. I really enjoy this beverage. I'll be clear about that.
I'm going to slide this. Chris, do you want any of this charcuterie board here?
Oh, I was getting in on it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Because I'm going to grab me some...
Dude, the
I am
the
not shy.
gabagool with the brie and the bagel cracker.
That's what I was going after.
I go,
So this is the pollination. So this is the one that he does with Cascade hops, but it's tart blackberry, sweet wildflower honey, and a little bit of cinnamon spice.
Sorry. So Jessica, who got us the charcuterie tray, just chimed in. She wanted to say something about just going off not to go off topic, which she did. But is that a whip on the table? No.
that is not off
it's
Jessica,
called a bolo.
No, Jessica, that is Josh's
That's
tool.
my mic cord.
Yeah, that's his mic cord. We'll go with that. That's his mic
Which is
cord.
actually, my mic is a bee-themed mic.
Hey, make sure you pour those better next time, mister.
Because
What are you talking about? You got what we got.
yeah, it's a honeycomb mic. See?
Oh, you don't like that, Josh?
But,
Yeah.
Right.
Everything I've got is bee themed.
I like that because I like that answer better because originally I thought you were a Steelers fan. So I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Just because he wears black all the time doesn't mean he's,
Huh?
Just because Josh wears black all the time.
No, yeah,
doesn't mean
right.
He's like Steelers fan.
Well, I mean, if he's
black
depressed all the time, it would make sense he's a Steelers fan. But
Yeah, that's true.
Jessica, it's something we don't talk about.
What
we have going on after the show.
It's hard to say, and I seldom remember.
So this is the crafted pollination. So this is their mead done with Cascade hops. It's blackberry. He uses a sweet wildflower honey, and he's got just a touch of like cinnamon spice and floral in it with the Cascade hops. So it's really just got some really fun flavors.
Flowers and cinnamon really like creep up on my nose right above that fruit. It's very pleasant.
Are we really going to be okay with creep up on your nose as a...
Around here, that's
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, we
Not
don't.
just that you just smell.
It's amazing at times that we understand what he says, let alone.
the verbose nature of my soliloquies.
Oh, he worked verbose into the conversation. That
It's
children
seldom happening, and quite
means
apropos.
he talks a lot.
I almost get some like bergamot in there.
Some what?
Bergamot.
Bert? Okay. Yeah, that kind of follows the note
need-
on
Well,
just...
it's funny because
For
he
those of us
just
that
has
are
floral.
completely.
Well, bergamot,
Earl Grey.
Rob,
Earl Grey.
is one of the ingredients of Earl Grey black
It's
tea.
a bitter orange.
It's
Well,
related...
why didn't you just say bitter orange then?
Because it's a
Because
bergamot.
once again,
Well,
they're being
bergamot,
fancy.
the root is really why people grow
See, this
bergamot. But
is
one of the
what
things
happens
you
when
get
you
is
give
the
them
tea
wine
leaf off of
glasses
it.
to start.
And it's related
I know. We should just give them paper cups.
and St. John's wort. We should just... These guys will finish their beverages and throw their glasses to the corner.
Dad is
jump on
watching.
some horses and ride to the sunset. That's how it goes. If you want to know what we're doing after the show.
See what you said that's blackberry in there? Mm-hmm. I could definitely get that.
That and the Cascade hops is where some of the tartness comes
This has
through.
a really fun all-around flavor. It just keeps inviting me back in.
The Cascade is really nice in that.
Yeah, that is hops, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's kind of all around the tree there. Like that's really fun. I mean, fruit, hops, spice, honey, like
This is just
every which way. Yeah.
As far as a beverage goes, like I can drink this literally.
Well, see, and that's that's exactly why he does this session style mead, because most people are afraid of meads because they're high alcohol.
Afraid.
Mead? A lot of people are afraid. Like they'll see a bottle of mead and they'll see that it's like 19 and 20% and it's honey mead and it's still it can be hard to drink. Like I mean, not everybody likes to drink out of a cordial glass. So this is something you can easily put in a pint glass or in a wine glass and just sip on. It's very nice.
It's hard to get in there. He's very serious on this point. I'm just wondering, is this session mead style that arguably is not only observed by Crafted, but many other mead crafters out there right now.
Right, I think
they're part of the rise in popularity.
Well, I think they're moving away from the terminology draft mead just because of the implication of like, oh, okay, well I can only find it on draft. And I think just trying
whereas
to
an equitable product to a pint beer,
right? Trying to clean up some of the terminology.
It's kind of like draft sake in that aspect,
right? Exactly, where it's a lighter style sake, but it's not necessarily on draft. Right
now, what was the ABV you said this was?
So this should be under 7. So this comes in right at 6%.
Okay, so normal for session for beer is a lot lower, correct?
5 and below.
Well, but keep in mind what this is sessionable in comparison to
other
16
meats.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And this also comes in is that a 500?
It's a 500 mil, which I love. It's a great hand-holding size too. Right.
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of like session wine. I mean, like at 6% wine, I would consider it a session wine.
The moment I see a 500, I consider splitting.
I don't know, but I know there's a
instantly.
display of like light-hearted Chardonnay from
session,
Cupcake and grocery store right
2,
now.
3, 4 people enjoy a sip from this. That's
right.
That's your session right there.
Well, I don't even think it needs to be with it being 6% and a 500 ml. Like you're
2 glasses.
Well, I mean, you can have 16 ounces of 7.4% IPA, or you can have 500 mil of 6%. You're going to come in about the same spot because this is, 500 mil. It's probably still lists the ounces on the bottle.
2 servings or something.
I still wouldn't even consider 2 servings. I think it's just
would
yours.
enjoy this with fresh
I think you can
olive
I think you could easily split it if you want to, but
No, it just says 500 mil. Let's list on front.
I'm with you here.
No.
I could easily drink this bottle to myself. Like, I know you're supposed to share, but I wouldn't want to.
so it's a pint.
That's
It's
what
16.9 ounces of 6%.
Yeah, so it's like the double nickels.
16.9 ounces is 500 mil.
Yeah, that's the
So
foam on top of your beer.
So it's 6%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not. I mean,
Yeah,
not that I won't share with someone.
I mean, we're just
but
trying to
that's fine.
demystify what they mean by this term, and also what I'm getting with this quantity. Like that's an important factor. At $13.50, are they all priced $13.50 here?
Don't believe so.
No,
What?
Pollination's $12.50.
Okay, so that's $1 cheaper than some of the other ones I'm looking at right now. Pollination's very this is a great opener,
Right.
Man, this just really invites me into.
And
the
this
world
one's a
of
little
mead.
bit drier than the other two.
So you say drier, but I'm still getting a fair amount of sweetness on this. The honey's there.
Right.
The honey is like the ultimate finish.
The honey's
Yeah.
there, but there's still, because of the Cascade hops and the fact that it's raspberry, there's still just like a really nice dry finish with the carbonation. Like it's not. This is still not syrupy sweet
No,
by any
not
means.
by any means. No,
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm not going to call it tannic, but you can tell that there are tannins in there balancing out some of the sweetness.
I believe I said this when we originally had a chance to palate this. It's great to take another review session just in depth on this, but this is a beverage that not only is this a nice spring summer type refreshing beverage, but I'm feeling these flavors on this particular one would be relevant again for me come the autumn.
Well, and one of the things I
raking
want
leaves.
people to think of, like, I know typically we shy away from like super sweet stuff, like super sweet beverages in the hot time of year, but this is a very hot day, and this is very refreshing coming in the door.
Yeah.
Like it's because it's not syrupy sweet. It just has a nice light balanced sweetness to it.
I don't know if I'm drinking this under the sun, but I definitely want to like just find a spot in the shade with some buddies.
Exactly.
Knock out some labor and then just kind of sit back and look back on it all with this.
While listening to G Love and Special Sauce singing a song about cold beverages.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's just one person who may not like that.
G Love and the special sauce.
You did not ask for permission. No, just any member of Lowfast. Well, what are we doing next? Because Josh finished his. We're going to top these off.
Where do you want to head next? Sir?
I think the strawberry badgerita, the one on the ice.
That's a really cool name. I kind of remember something about, as soon as you said strawberry, I really just
my palate.
yeah.
Nick, can you?
Does anybody need any charcuterie?
Well, I think while
Cheese? Adult Lunchables?
I might, if I do say so.
It's one of those,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I apparently
I
I struggle with almost anything I can get my hands on.
Speaking of
There's things that get their hands on me, I struggle with it.
Speaking of Lunchables, I am obsessed with recreating old school like cafeteria pizza, like the
Rectangle pizza, sausage.
Yeah, the rectangle cut, and I want to make it good.
Totino's beat you.
So this is strawberry honey badgerita, and honey badger don't care. So on the label is a honey badger with ammo bandoliers holding a margarita. Like it's just a great label.
Can't wait to give them a close up.
Right.
As soon as Josh is done pouring.
So, but he's very proud that there's
Just as soon as Josh
he's getting
finishes
very
pouring.
very evenly poured there, which I admire his
I know you were
zest.
getting on one too, Chris. And I was like, oh, well.
I know. Hold on. Can't put the cart before the horse.
Can I just say,
Can't beat a dead horse.
can
In
you
fact, that
guys
horse-
hear Chris now? Because a couple
Well, you
weeks
can't
back
be
we
dead
had him, and it turns out his
No,
mic,
no,
even though we
you finish
thought
that
we
off
fixed
between
it,
y'all.
it didn't really like fix. And I just
Yeah,
want to
man,
know,
me
can you
either.
guys hear Chris now?
I'm pretty sure that they can.
Yeah, I think that we would have had complaints long before now. Or no, maybe they can't hear me,
Now
which is
they'll
why we don't
start
have
complaining.
complaints.
Tell Nick, Rob, can you cut Nick's mic and turn Chris's up? That looks pretty even, Josh. I think you did a pretty good job. Say, we pour wine around here. Would you like a job? We got some
Hand that off to Rob
weekend
so he can do
shifts.
the
We'd
label.
love to hand off to anybody who likes pouring wine.
There's the bottle. There's your glass.
No, I'm looking for a cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Oh, the sound effects are always good.
Gross.
Prost.
Hey.
So, strawberry honey badgerita.
Whoa, this is
I know, right? So, tart, slightly sweet, salted rim, citrus with a sweet and tart strawberry notes balanced with light honey. Once again, still coming in at 6% ABV. And, I love the profile notes. Margarita inspired. So,
I definitely get that margarita feel.
well, and I love, because, it's one of those things where it's like, people say, oh, yeah, salted lime. So, that's citrus and the lime note. Sometimes with strawberry as well, strawberry can come through
Very medicinal.
Yeah.
Or,
And this,
or cloyingly sweet. too.
right. And this is neither. This is neither cloyingly
such
sweet
a
or
funky
medicinal.
strawberry.
Right. It's a really nice strawberry. And the lime elevates the strawberry instead of fighting against it. And the salt's just kind of there nicely.
It's perfect.
Right.
When I worked in the produce stand,
yeah.
one of our tricks when we would have,
I like that.
we'd buy strawberries, wholesale. We'd have ones we couldn't package that we just want to basically eat as the crew in the tunnel. We would squeeze a lime over them and sprinkle the salt from the peanuts that we would make. right on that. Nice. It was awesome. Throw some watermelon in.
I don't know. Hey, well, I'm going to go off topic. Has anybody else this year noticed how amazing watermelon is this year?
I've heard people talking about this.
Like as a kid, I detested watermelon, and even as an adult, like anytime I go to a party, I'd try a piece, and it would always be a disappointment. I have eaten my weight in watermelon this year because it actually tastes. It's full flavored.
Are you getting the Oxbow, like the Jacksonville watermelon, or like what are you getting in on? The Black Beauty?
I don't know.
Candy?
Yeah, you opened up a whole.
I have no idea. So.
Wow. So, big strawberry on the nose.
Right.
Big strawberry on the palate. But there is that
There's only one other
little
beverage
acid
that
just to
gets
take away the sweetness.
Strawberry, and that's totally awesome.
And the finish has just got that little bit of sweet lime with the strawberry going on. The salt rounds it out. It's just like essence of strawberry.
I don't know if there's just some similar flavors here, or if I'm still getting just a little essence from the last sip. But actually, it's not even a bad movement. I'm still getting that cinnamon and the spice. Yeah, Rob, they're liking you eating.
Jess, you moved up a few notches on my list.
Notches?
That's what I said.
She's up on the veranda while everybody else is hanging out on the back deck.
I'm
she was already pretty high. She's cool
I
anyway.
vote for a plaque on the wall or something.
Yeah, seriously. You want to find out who's ready to work weekends? Let's talk. Sorry, Matt. Oh boy, this is really tasty. Is this what's going to happen to me? Is just each one we try, I'm going to like more?
The honey comes through.
Possibly.
So nicely. I really like that honey.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this, because actually there's a little difference in how I taste the honey on this one versus what I taste on the last.
So keep in mind with the honey, there are so many different varietals of honey.
I kind of got a really amber feel with the last one. This one's a little more clear and rarefied with the honey.
So it is. So this is what was he? No, the notes on this one don't say which honey he's using on this one. But with the other one, it was a lighter style honey.
Okay.
And what's really interesting, you have this huge variation all the way from Tupelo, which is super clear, refined, up to clove, which is dark, and so even honey has its own variables, just like wine grapes and even hops. You could grow Cascade hops at 3 different locations around the United States or 3 different locations in the world, and they will kind of yield different flavors, different amounts of oils, and so forth. So this is kind of what you get. Honey is very driven by where the apiary is or where the hive is versus what the bees have been eating. I can remember reading a story young about I forget what the job is, dealing with an apiary. But I don't think it's technically beekeeper. I think there was another ape kind of name or something for it. But talking about the fact that he had a hive that was coming up with blue honey, and it was the weirdest thing. So he ended up kind of putting a tracer or something on a couple of the bees, and it turns out that the bees were getting into the excess refined sugar runoff from the M&M's candy factory.
Whoa!
And that's why they ended up with blue honey. Yeah. So
that's insane.
It really is. It's just and that's. I mean, it takes us back to why bees are so important and why we have to be. As much as everybody hates daisies, that's some of the first food available to bees in the spring. When your daisies pop up, let that first round of daisies die on their own, because your bees are going at them. You throw Roundup on that, you've basically killed off your nearest hive. It's really kind of how important, honeybees are to our...
Clover. You mentioned red clover earlier. Mm-hmm. That's another one.
Yeah.
Don't mow that in the spring.
Right. Let that grow a little, Wait a little later into your season to start cleaning up your yard.
It's crazy though. I remember reading a story about the Greek and Persians fighting, or the Greek and somebody fighting.
I thought he was talking about laissez-faire. I don't know how the...
And apparently one of the...
I can't breathe.
It's just got it real heavy.
One of the battles was won by the Greeks noticing that a particular batch of their honey was a little bit off, so they gave it as like a gift to the like invading forces, who threw a massive party and just ate and drank the mead and ate all the honey. But the honey was made of like rhododendron. The bees had been feasting on rhododendron, and it drove them all crazy and made them hallucinate and violently ill.
Well, see, but that's also the crazy thing.
That might be the real story behind the Homer's giant horse. That's
also the crazy thing behind like Viking mead and Viking Gruit it wasn't just like honey made from hallucinogenic plants, but also like the hallucinogenic plants and mushrooms that they would intentionally use. They talk about they would drink going into battle and coming home from battle, and the reason why they would drink going into battle is because they would basically fight high as fuck, like and
kind of berserker style.
Well, so a berserker was a specific level of Viking, and so a berserker itself, there's actually stories of a single berserker as the rest of the Vikings were actually fleeing a Saxon re-invasion of some of the territory on the Britannic Islands. There's a story of a single berserker holding off 30,000 Saxons at this one bridge, while the rest of the Vikings actually were able to get away and get back on boats and get out. So, being a berserker was a whole nother different level of psychosis.
I mean, that was a killer party afterwards.
Right.
That's like the one guy at the bar, like if he gives you the crazy eyes, you're like, ooh,
right.
He's seen some stuff.
Right. That's Big John. Let's leave him alone.
Yeah.
There's I was looking because there was some other citrus that was coming across other than lime, and I looked at blood orange. Did you mention that originally?
Oh no, because it doesn't list it on the website notes. So I hadn't eyeballed the bottle before looking at that. That's right, because they didn't just use lime; they did use some blood orange to kind of elevate tie that honey and citrus together.
Yeah. Another nice, very nice selection there.
Yeah.
It's good.
Dude, honestly, guys, I'm telling you, the prosciutto is...
Capicola?
You tell me the gabagool, the prosciutto, and I'm like, hey,
Gabagool. Yeah.
Genovese, my...
Gabagool. Yeah, go back here.
Genovese, my Vesuvio, okay?
That salt right on the front end.
Right. That salt is what really ties it together.
Salted meat.
Right.
It keeps going.
I really love this.
So, amazingly, this charcuterie tray, other than I haven't had the pickled okra since we've been into the mead,
Goes
but
great
the
with the beer.
charcuterie tray is really going well with this mead. And
It
Chris
is.
is like
No.
missing out.
I dug into it. I haven't been shy. Don't worry about
You
it.
had one piece of meat.
Hey.
That was not shy. See?
Yeah.
Shy was eating nothing.
Right.
He's short of shy.
Well, here's the thing that I find myself in the position or problem of every time of my life is if you put food in front of me, I'll eat it. That's why when you were like, I'm looking for a central place to put the charcuterie board, and I was like, no, over there's fine. Over there's perfectly fine. Because I'll grab one or two pieces, because if it was anywhere near me, I would destroy it.
Hey, Chris and Rob finished, so Josh and Nick better get on the rhythm.
Yeah, because Chris is getting ready to open that third one. Thankfully.
That strawberry is really fun.
Oh, man.
It's so different from the first beverage.
Capicola.
With the hey, gabagool.
With mead is really good.
Because, and Nick said that actually brings the salt out even more on the front end.
Oh, absolutely. That is like, it makes it taste like a margarita.
Well, not that, to me, not that much, but I mean...
Strawberry margarita.
Okay, maybe.
Well, that's what it is. It's a strawberry
Basically,
margarita mead. So
I really enjoy that a lot. But I have a deep-seated passion for mead. I got you.
Okay, thank you.
I kind of wanted just to
See how long I'd stay.
I thought you were going to say you had a deep-seated passion for gabagool.
who doesn't have a deep-seated passion for Italian meats?
Will is checking in.
Good job,
he says,
Will.
"Good evening, everyone."
Hey,
good
Will.
evening, Will.
Hi, Will.
Hey, Will, you asked me about Zinfandel earlier today.
Oh, Nick doesn't get to pour anymore.
I did a great job. Look, you guys have the same exact amount. I don't know what you're so sad about. Menker said, drink my extra portion.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, Menker did. He didn't verbalize it, but he poured his own and then handed the bottle off. Yeah. Because Menker at the end of the night has to make the drive back to Wilmington. And
And I'm definitely not driving tonight.
So now we have Dragonheart. So Dragonheart
Great movie.
is a mead that also has apple cider produced with it. So it's cherry and raspberry sizer.
Sizer.
So it's a sizer by definition is honey and apple.
So I have a problem with this label. The dragon is holding his own heart.
Right. Well, he's
The hilarity behind this.
I don't know.
Heart in his hand. He's got his heart in his hand. This one, arguably, this is like I feel
You're
like
certain it's his?
Well, no, you're right.
I feel like this is
He's holding
sweeter
a
than
heart.
yours. And I have a
And
reason
he's holding
why.
a very big heart.
It's
So
the
maybe it's
apples,
another
isn't
dragon's
it?
heart.
Hey, if he was wearing eyeliner and like
apples
had
have
like
one
a
of the
swoopy
highest,
haircut, then I'd believe it's his own heart. But
like the
anybody from
sweetness
the band
level
AFI.
of the sugar of apples
Right.
is like sweeter than almost anything besides grapes, right?
Well, I don't know what the residual sugar content of apples versus any other fruit, but yeah, I think it's pretty high. But I couldn't tell you exactly what it is.
Well, that's why we make cider.
I'm not a fruitologist.
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 Does that exist, viewers? Looking at you here. My Google thumbs are very tired and busy.
So, apple cider aroma and flavor. You get the honey and fruit sweetness, tart and rich cherry, and raspberry.
The cherry's definitely there. There's a raspberry back in like the first one. Yeah, that's cool.
The crazy thing about this.
Well, keep in mind because raspberry is tart, where it's going to hit on your tongue. So it'll always be a back end.
Raspberry
Unless
flower
it's
is also a producer
fully
of
like
honey,
sweetness.
isn't it?
Huh?
Raspberry flower is a honey producer.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
The acidity of the apple really draws out a lot of the flavors going on in this.
Yeah.
Compared to like your just not the standard beef.
Yeah.
But like the acidity from the apple juice
I'm with Josh.
is like really cool.
I think that's kind of where I was going with Menker on that, is that we've been doing mead, and then all of a sudden you do a mead, an apple mead, and he calls
Sizer.
it sizer.
Yeah.
CYSER.
Well, it's apple cider and mead.
I feel like my biggest admission is I'm not going to remember the sizer. It's just kind of caught in the middle.
What do we do wrong? You're over there
No,
reading notes.
it was just his bad pun.
Where's your
Sizer doesn't matter.
sad trombone, bro?
Yeah.
You had it right last week. It is B. It was go with it. B. Anyways,
Well, shut off.
that's the theme music. We can trick them.
Why is the theme music B? Wouldn't it be A?
No, that's the applause. Hey.
It's your mind.
I didn't program this. The host of the Olympics did.
With your feet in the air and your head on the ground.
Yeah. Earthbound,
Try this trick and spin it.
tongue-tied.
So, but the thing is, for me at the end of the day, we're still not syrupy sweet.
No.
Like, this is still
None of these three are
really
syrupy sweet.
drinkable, a really quaffable beverage,
Belchage. I did get a little apple belch on it.
Okay, good.
That's the one thing I am missing is no belching for me.
Not once tonight out of you.
No. I just it's
Drink
unusual.
a little more of that. Come on, I want
I
to
will
leave
as soon as I finish this.
yeah, right.
What's wrong with you?
Well, it's mead.
Lovely.
I will say I'm kind of in Rob's boat, and I'm looking around at the other guys here. I'm not seeing a lot of palate cleansing beer going down.
Well, you kind of don't need to because this is really drinkable, and there is a common theme through all this where it is mead and it is fruited. So it's not really difficult to catch the different flavors in this, but at the same time, there is a theme with it as well. So
Hey guys, I'm noticing our frame rate's really crappy tonight, so I apologize for
I blame the storm.
cutting out. Yeah, I'm going to blame the storm too. I don't think that's the fact, but that's what we're blaming. I think the producer's out there playing video games on his phone or something.
I think the producer's been gone.
He Irish goodbye us again.
I didn't see his. Oh, His lights just blinked.
His lights just flickered. So
He was tuning in. He was like,
See you later. But yeah, we are having some frame rate issues. So I've been seeing it drop in and out, but I apologize about that. I think for the most part, from what I'm seeing from the comments, though, you are getting most of
Tell Steve he's
As long as they can hear Menker, we're good.
and Cyser, Cyser, correct?
Cyser.
Yeah, that's that would be the answer to that. Will Cyser.
I got at least one thing right today.
It's about time. It's the end of the day.
There are two fingers pointed at you, and they are not my index fingers. Under the table.
Oh. I should not have looked under there.
I've never seen a man throw his pinkies at another man. Weird flex, but okay.
So, I think of the three, this one is the one for me that's just it's kind of okay. I mean, it's good, but the other two kind of stood out to me. This one, I don't know.
maybe you're with me on my statement earlier.
Of what?
Not remembering the sizer.
I honestly think this to me tastes like the most accessible one for people who haven't had mead.
I can agree with that.
Especially for the cider crossover fans.
Yeah.
Because like mead is actually a really cool progression from cider drinkers because it's in the same vein. You're still staying gluten free.
That's correct.
And there's a lot of similar flavor profiles you're going to get with it. This is just the best of both worlds. You get that rich honey and you get that acidity from the cider that you're used to. So this is a cool intro mead.
Right. This helps bridge that gap for you.
Oh yeah. That's what I love about this because you know how I think everybody here knows how much we all love cider here except for Nick.
Yeah.
No, let's just.
Oh, Nick loves cider.
I love
cider
it.
doesn't love him.
Yes. And for those who share my fate, I will say this feels very apple driven. Of all the ones we've had yet, fruit is definitely out front, and when he calls it a cider, saying it's cider and mead, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I, for one, am a big fan of braggot.
Oh yeah. Get into your traditional.
Bringing out terms of meadery.
Sorry, did you say braggart?
No, braggot. Braggot's basically
See, I knew these beers would come in handy.
it's a blend of like basically beer and mead. It's like malted barley and hops with mead.
So we're not done. I actually did bring something else from the cabinet tonight. You guys have been kind enough to let me sit in on these, and last time I brought that...
We've been kind enough.
Yeah.
You've been kind enough to join us.
There's lots of kindness.
All right,
going
there's so
around.
much kindness going around. But last time we did that bourbon barrel aged people's porter, and this time Josh struggles with knowing how far to slip back his
I
okra.
feel like I interrupted Chris, but on the other hand, like,
No, it was
It
appropriate
was definitely not me.
because that is not the first time Josh has
Choked on the tip.
choked on an okra tonight.
The okra.
I just really like okra.
To the point where he likes to choke on okra.
Chokra.
Deepak Chopra.
I,
Yeah, he definitely had some
I set myself up.
Before you must first love yourself before you can love another. That was from Guru Tugamaputa.
Dude, it has gotten literary tonight. I've gone from Kafka to whatever.
If we're gonna say quotes from Love Guru is no, we're that's not literary.
Anything Mike Myers is literary.
Menker needs
So tonight from Oceanside, New York, I have brought Barrier's mint chocolate chip Morticia. It's their imperial stout.
Morticia.
wow, we're going from mead to
I know.
imperial stout.
That's
brewed
what the
with-
palate cleanser's for. Now I knew why I have this beer.
Brewed with milk sugar, mint, chocolate chips, and cacao nibs.
Cacao. Cacao. Sorry, it's a little tradition we have here.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, we did that for half a show, like a half a year ago.
I have a okra seed stuck in my teeth.
We'll put it
That sounds painful.
Take your beer and swish it in your mouth.
stuck in your teeth. Is
So
this a metaphor?
I love the write-up on this. Our classic imperial stout, full-bodied and full flavor, got loaded up with adjuncts like never before. Chopped grasshopper cookies, crumbled Oreos, and mint chocolate were added in satanic amounts. What has birthed from this madness? Wow. It's like you're literally drinking mint chocolate chip ice cream in a glass. The touch of lactose helps hammer home the creamy mouthfeel.
I feel like
jet
this beer
black
is
in color.
made for Josh.
Big, brown, frothy head that explodes
Between you
with
and
flavor before
See
you
what he
even
does.
take your first sip.
Take care of yourself. Oh,
Nick, I wouldn't be laughing too much. That was your portion.
it's fine. I enjoyed it watching it go down.
That's what she said.
Rob, why don't you show him the label
All right.
instead of trying to pop your 90s puns?
I do love how you said this is a beer made for me because you know damn well like this is my style of beer.
Right.
Yeah, and apparently everybody poured it in their wine glass, which we still have a palate cleanser.
Right. We still have, because our beer glasses are still full palate cleansers.
Which just says something about the quality of the meat.
Right. Exactly.
Apparently, Jessica doesn't like cacao nibs.
Is it
She
cacao
said they're so bitter.
or cacao?
Right. But this is done in balance with lactose and milk chocolate and some other things in order to keep it from being bitter.
Can I just play the dumb person here?
Ooh!
I like chocolate. Why wouldn't I like cacao?
Wait a minute. You're playing the dumb person?
Yeah, this is my
Okay.
job.
This is a role. Gotcha. I was wondering who the straight man was in this group. Okay.
You remember that time Nick got abducted by 3 large men?
He was not straight after.
I don't like this.
So cacao nibs, or rather baking chocolate, is still fairly bitter.
Okay.
But because you're typically adding sugar into a baking recipe, or
So it's
you're
like
using-
the raw plant.
Yeah, it's a little bit more
Before the-
raw. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not the raw plant. You're not putting straight cacao
It's
in
the
it.
refined product.
But it's a little bit more refined, but it's not processed to the point where it's like milk chocolate.
processed and mixed. Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Mint.
I'm just trying to get the burp out of me before I put this in my body.
Hey, Nick, give him a slap on the back.
Burp the baby.
He hasn't deserved it.
Burp the baby. Burp the baby.
Don't hit me while I'm drinking.
Oh, sorry, poorly timed.
Now I'm just mad and I still have to burp.
So this is a brewery that came back from Superstorm Sandy. So
That's always a good story.
Before Sandy, they were like a 4,000 barrel a year brewery, and they kind of have built back and come back stronger, and they're now a 9,000 plus barrel a year brewery.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I just say I think it's pathetic that we have to call it Superstorm Sandy. The thing was a hurricane.
Yeah, but
It was
then-
like a major
then
hurricane.
yeah, but the thing is, so my mom and dad lived in
it
a
wasn't a
Time I
major.
got up there.
Wasn't major.
So
Just
mom,
a bad tide.
It
Mom-
was bad for that area.
Mom and Dad lived in Western Maryland at the time, Deep Creek Lake, Maryland, and because of Superstorm merging,
and they
Sandy
had
merging with the
storms
other
right
storm.
before then.
Well, but because of it all merging
From
together,
Morgantown down.
yeah, they had gotten so much ice from that combined cell that they didn't have power for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like it tore down.
And
like,
what made it
like it was
really
more
bad
than
is-
just the flooding on the coast. Like
Yeah.
it was you know.
What made it
since-
really bad was the fact that, for us, that wouldn't have been that bad just because our construction quality, not quality, but our standards are built for higher level winds. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that's, especially old stuff that is along the was along the coast, wasn't built for those winds.
wow.
Well, yeah, and our tides are not as severe. They're like basically by the time you get up to New York, it's almost like twice the tide flood, just on
Fuck me
latitude.
in the mouth
alone.
with mint and chocolate.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wow.
this is
If we average a 3.6, they average a 6 foot.
Lingering mint on that too, man.
Right?
It's like thin mint goodness.
I wonder how it goes
I
with
like
the
the mint.
pickled okra.
I like the mint. I'm kind of curious how the bree's gonna feel next, like just personally.
Yeah, there's just enough mint on it that it's like the next big inhale will like feel very cool.
Kind of almost like
I like this a lot.
like an antiseptic quality to the mint. Like it's
slap you.
strong.
So the pickled okra knocks out the mint, but does not knock out the chocolate on this.
He doesn't know what we called that stuff before the show, does he?
Pickled okra, it's a delicious thing.
DJ of pickles.
Yeah, that is
That is delicious.
that tastes like you have absconded with 10 boxes of Thin Mints off your local Girl Scout and upended the table as you ran away.
It's the first crunchy
like it
imperial
really-
stout I've ever had. Like
Crunchy imperial. No, that was like okra. I ate. That was.
no, seriously, this thing tastes like somebody's like eating a cookie.
And that's for the ASMR viewers out there.
Yeah, that. So
I love this. What's the ABV on this guy?
10.1.
And like you really needed to put the 0.1 on there. Like you've got a variable of like 0.4% on your ABV. It's like it was like the whole what was it, Ballast Point Brewing when Constellation bought them. They bought them for $1.1 billion, and every time someone or 1.1 billion, and every time someone was like, "Did you hear they sold for 1 billion?" I was like, "I'm sorry, did you miss the 0.1? You're missing a meager $100 million to that sale."
I wanted to get into what he was getting at.
Yeah, the
0.1.
That's
Sounds innocent. That's 10, like
So
10. Yeah.
there are a couple other breweries. One in particular from New York, probably close in area, maybe. Well, at least it's same region. That does a thin mint.
New York.
Yeah,
Okay.
that does a thin mint.
Hey, get your gabagool. Go back to New York, okay?
Southern Tier does a Thin Mint.
I was not going to name names,
Oh,
but
I'm
We're
sorry.
talking about Southern
Sorry, we
Tier.
didn't get that one clear, did we? No.
yeah, and then there's one here in North Carolina too that does one.
Are you talking about Southern Tier?
No, Southern Tier is not North Carolina.
Yeah, they are.
Actually, they are. They
now
have a second
Lakewood, New
brewery.
York, and
Okay.
Sister
When
Brewery,
when
man.
when Coors Brewing started brewing east
timing.
of Mississippi, that did not make them a Tennessee brewery. Okay. When Sierra Nevada opened a
them a
brewery in
Memphis
Asheville, they're still Sierra Nevada. They're a Chico, California brewery.
Oscar Blues.
The
Yeah,
number
but-
of
Victory and
The
Southern
another-
Tier teamed up to open up a brewery.
the number
And
right exactly
Victory
it's a joint venture.
changed
It's a
their dark blue
it's a
to Carolina
secondary-
blue.
It's a secondary or tertiary or whatever location.
Diminutive. Is that
You
what
are
you're
from
getting at?
your hometown.
Would that be a
You may have
Southern-
expanded, but
is
you
that
are from your
Southern
hometown.
Victory over
I
there?
think everybody gets the opportunity to find a new hometown. That's
Not while keeping your old one.
So back to
now you know why Nick can hang out with some Rebel Jacks.
what I was getting at. What I was getting at was the one from Wicked Weed and the one from Southern Tier, since we're name dropping, doesn't quite to me come in as deep of a beer. as
This is definitely so
this,
dark on
this
the
is
chocolate.
yeah, this is a huge
It's deep dark, but that
Yeah.
mint makes it
I
really
mean,
drinkable.
like they said, in satanic amounts. Like this is a punk band's Girl Scout cookie beer.
Yeah,
Josh, anything to say on that? I just
Josh has
kind of looking
Every
your
single
way
bell
there.
and whistle in my head. Just like, ooh, ooh. Yeah. No,
Like you're
this
the only
is-
guy sitting here with tickets to a Queers concert. Like,
Yes. Oh no, yeah, you know I love my punk rock, heavy metal, man. No, this is definitely like some serious amounts of like ingredients going into this, and you can tell if they're only doing 9,000 barrels a year, which is like I say only, but that's still
Right.
like a good bit.
Right.
But when you compare it to like OMB that's doing 150 prior to having to go with a distributor. You know, like there's a big difference between 150,000 and not even 10,000.
Right. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say they're small, but they're not huge.
Right.
They're a microbrewery, not a nano brewery. But to like knock this out of the park like this, it's a ridiculous attention to detail they've got going on here. This is delicious. Now I just want to listen to punk rock.
I didn't find anything off-putting about it. Like, it was just pleasant.
Well, let's get to our ratings.
Okay.
I'll start. Yeah. I'm going to make it easy.
Since you brought it up.
I'm going to make it easy. All four, two thumbs. Everything. Well, no, I'm take it back. The Dragonheart at 1.9. Everything else was two thumbs for me. I think all the selections were excellent tonight, and I definitely thank Chris for bringing the chocolate mint stout. That was beautiful.
It was really nice. I don't want to be the bomber, so I'm going to step in right now and just say that I might not remember the sizer. And I know Rob thought it was a bad pun before, but now that I realize he's rated it a little bit lower, I'm going to go even a little bit lower and just be like, for me, not a cider fan, I wanted mead. The first two delivered mead with fruit, and then the third one did this other thing. And so I'm not going to take it like off the chart. I still think it was like one of the best like cider mead oriented beverages I've had in a while. But like, you know, I'm going to drop it down to like 1.65. And that's just, it's no insult on the crafted bottle party that we have in front of us. But there's stuff I really loved about just where we started with the pollen. The pollen to me just really captured the essence of mead with a really quality specific honey, and then just like introduced alternate flavors. And to me, that was like a really nice beverage 2.0. The strawberry freaking badger. What is it called? Strawberry badger?
Strawberry honey badgerita.
I love that. Everything about a funky strawberry just really gets me going. I'm going to throw that one a 1.9. I don't know if it was a perfect beverage, but it was definitely right up there with them. So altogether, I'm going 2.0, 1.9, and 1, what did I say, 6.5?
6.5. And then what about your last one?
Oh my gosh, the ace in the hole with this mint chocolate chip madness. It's so good. It is probably one of the most palatable and continually drinkable imperial stouts I've tasted in a while. It just lacked all that oily fuel kind of quality and just put that back into fresh herbs and chocolate, and it was beautiful. It was a great experience. I'd say 1.9 on that.
And there you go, folks. That's the definition. Actually, that's an example of verbose.
Which one of you pleonasms wants to go?
All right. First off, I have to say, so I apologize to Nick, because what I was laughing at during his rating.
Josh has something on his fingers.
No, I think Josh has been sitting on his hands to make them numb.
No, I think he's got pickled okra stuck on his fingers and he's rubbing it in his mustache.
No, what's happened is I keep wiping my mustache to clean my mustache out. After all these beverages, now I have such a thick layer of like sticky on my hands.
A thick layer of sticky. You don't have to touch my hands to show me. I heard you.
Okay.
Did you feel that?
It felt warm and sticky.
I just had this like this membrane.
Well, I know who's giving who a ride home tonight. So,
and with that, why don't you give us your rating?
So, I mean,
You didn't even get numbers out.
children. So I really enjoyed the crafted. I mean, as evident by the fact that we did not go back to our palate cleansers tonight. I mean, these all come in at 1.9, 2. I mean, they're just so drinkable. And it just, if you're looking for something different to add to your mix of alcohol, like you've tried a whole bunch of different beers, you've tried the IPAs, you've tried the Gozas, and you just want to try something else. You've had wine. You know, this is just you know what? Try a new summer sipper. Try these crafted, meads. And then the Morticia, I mean, like I said earlier, fuck me in the mouth with mint chocolate chip cookies. I mean, that was delicious. I hadn't had it before, so this was blind and new to me, and it was absolutely amazing. So, 2 thumbs on that too. So, Josh?
Well done, man.
Chris, I apologize.
No. Actually, the thing is,
sometimes you let the kids out of the barn.
The best part is like we've got this really serious kind of review going on, and then there's like a circus literally next door. It's
a flea circus, though.
How high can they jump?
That's nothing more than bargain bin.
That's a great thing. Is like if you're wanting good technical information, you're listening. But if you really want to show, you've got your eyes open watching this thing. So
no, I will. So I did not intend for that to fail as miserably as it did.
I don't know. It looked pretty submerged.
I meant to just dab it in there. That's not what happened.
You suck at dabs.
I do. I have a terrible history. Now, I will say, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Or you could just say.
I thoroughly enjoyed all these meads. I think I'm going to give them across the board twos. Each one has its role in a session mead and flavor profile. They're knocking it out of the park. Crafted. I'd love to see other stuff they do. I'd love to see what they do like the more traditional style meads too. That would be really cool.
Right.
The ridiculously good mint chocolate Morticia from Barrier. I don't have 3 thumbs.
That thing's darker than the Addams Family movies themselves.
Like, if I was like a mutant with like a 3rd thumb somewhere.
Right,
like
if you use those 2 and you pull the other one out of your ass.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Don't worry, you have been using that lately.
I absolutely love that. Like, as a kid, Thin Mints were always my favorite Girl Scout.
It really depends who you talk to. He might have the 3rd.
The lesser used.
No, but Girl Scouts being your absolute favorite cookie.
Oh man, I'm sweating. I have to wipe my shirt off. Oh, there we go. Problem solved. I was absolutely blown away by everything we had tonight. That's basically what that comes down to.
All right, guys.
Well, and what else it comes down to, Josh? You should tell them.
If you're watching this on YouTube and not watching this live on Facebook Live, please do remember that the charcuterie is awesome. We also like prime rib.
Yeah, prime rib's good.
I mean, if you guys want
rib
to bring
eye,
us some prime rib roast, we're not going to say no. If not, I'm going to harken back to a few weeks ago. Like a can of Spam is cool too.
Anything you do for us actually is.
Literally anything that you guys do for us in this podcast, we appreciate. Again, huge shout out to Jessica tonight for providing us with this awesome charcuterie board and the pickled okra, because we totally had a conversation about this. Yep. And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It has made me gag a couple times tonight by accident.
You enjoyed it.
That's what she said.
I didn't enjoy the gagging. I enjoyed everything else.
They go hand in hand with pickled okra.
Very handsy, yes.
But please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe below the video. If you don't tell us what you're thinking, how you're feeling, I don't know, you can tell us you hate us. I mean, we'll still, read it.
Yeah, I actually hate mail's a form of mail.
Yeah.
It'll make
us mail.
Oh, so this isn't Facebook Live anymore. You guys are throwing us on.
No,
well, we're
live.
still live, and then we put it up on YouTube as well.
Awesome.
It was just our
Replicant.
I love it.
A replicant lives on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
So what? Like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Comment, subscribe.
Right.
Comment.
Share. Get everyone in your family watching this.
In that
they
order.
don't have to know who we are to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give them our background. Just say that you really enjoy this. They
Is
should
your
watch it.
grandmother receiving too many emails from the neocons? Then send her, what are you drinking now? It could be a good thing.
Oh, this
Open
got
her mind.
oddly political.
So, with that,
Anti-political.
How deep are we into the video? Like how long?
We're
we're
1:15.
a minute, an hour 3.
Okay, now that we've got your attention, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Seriously, it's a great deal.
He got the political text joke.
With that, guys, have a good night. We'll see you next week.
People, I have triple